When it's not loaded and you hit the clean button, it's going to set up the printhead for a manual clean, which is basically your maintenance. All right?
Okay.
That's basically what we'll do at the end of the class. We got to let it get dirty before I can show you how to clean it. All right? Now, to actually clean it, just to actually do an actual automatic head clean, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can, put a platen on here and load it, or you can put your hand here to the side. What you can do is press the load button and just follow the belt. You'll hit the switch.
Okay.
As you can tell, right now it's got a little L on here.
So you don't have to leave your hand there. Just once it triggers the switch, it thinks it's loaded.
Okay. Once it's loaded, you'll hit the clean. It actually does a head clean, like any other printer does.
But it doesn't spray anything out.
Yes, it does.
So you have to have something under there to catch the spray.
No. It'll catch it in the capping station that's under here.
All right.
And it's got a sneeze tank over here.
Oh, that's the little drain tank down in there?
Yes.
Now, you call that a sneeze tank? Do you have to clean that out over there every so often?
That'll be maintenance at the end of
Okay.
the class.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a huge maintenance buff. I'm all about, in fact, I'm probably OCPCCD. You know, I mean, I don't wash my hands 50 times a day, but I'm real maintenance oriented. Like, I'll take this all off and I'll repaint it.
That's fine.
That's how.
This guy right here is your eject button. It ejects the platen out. All right?
Where?
Or
Oh,
right here.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, right now, remember how it said loaded? That little L? If you send something to the printer, it's going to start printing because it thinks it's loaded. So, after you do this, you want to hit that eject button to clear the system.
So once you put your hand in there, and it's been fooled into thinking something's in there, you want to immediately go over and hit the eject.
After it's done with the cleaning.
After it's done with the cleaning.
Because right now you can press it, it's not going to do anything.
Okay. So once it says, it'll just say it's done.
Yeah, it'll say done. It'll say 1 of 1 with an L on it.
Okay.
All right, then you'll hit the eject button. All right, the gap button, it's real simple. See how it's got a little green light down there right now? That means it's turned on.
Does it sing, you dropped a bomb on me, baby?
Oh, it will, yes. If you have this guy amber, all right, the light's amber, the gap is off, the screen will literally tell you media sensor is off.
Okay.
All right. What that does is that prevents this laser from dropping the bed down. All right, it's a safety feature for you not to get a head strike.
Oh, so it's an automatic safety feature that keeps the platen from striking the
From
head.
striking the head, exactly.
Okay.
If you turn it off, all right. 1, it tells you I'm off. 2,
Okay.
there's an amber light here. If you still manage to have a head strike, all right, we show no sympathy for head strikes at all, especially with this machine. This machine tells you in the screen, and it gives you a light indicator that it's off.
So if you strike the head,
It's your fault.
you'll be buying new parts for a
You'll
machine.
be buying a new printhead, pretty much.
Oh, those are only $500.
That's it.
Yeah, no big deal. Plus labor. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Then, of course, down here, you have your up and down buttons. That moves the bed up and down.
What part's actually moving?
Just the whole bed part.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And you always want to double check that clearance before
We'll-
you even start.
Yeah, we'll go over that when we start putting shirts
Okay.
on there. All right. And this guy should be done here in a second. The next thing's the pass button. Pass button, you're really going to use it whenever you're doing dark shirts, but it's going to take multiple passes. Meaning you'll do a pass of white, comes back, does a pass of color. All right. What that does, it automatically loads it for you. All right. So, right now you see how it says pass 1 of 1.
Right.
That means it's going to tell you I'm going to do 1 pass and then I'm ejecting the shirt. All right. If you're going to print a dark shirt, you hit the pass. Now it says pass 1 of 2.
So
What that says is, okay, I'm going to do 1 pass, rewind it, load myself, do a 2nd pass, and then I'm going to spit it out.
what happens if you fail to do that and it spits it out on? You can do 1 of 1 and it just lays the white down. And you go, oh crap! I didn't do.
It's fine. All you have to do is just hit the load button. It'll just reload it.
It'll reload it and
Start printing the color.
start printing the
The
color.
key to that is if you do forget that, all right, when the platen ejects, do not touch the platen. Just touch the load button. If you touch that platen and move it just a little bit, it's going to be off registration.
Yeah, but you got to pick it up and bring it back around this.
It's going to eject at this end.
It's going to put it back at the load position, at the place it once started,
Yes.
originally started. Okay, cool.
Now, there is a way where we can tell it to eject back here, But for safety and not to waste shirts, I always tell customers it's best to let it come out here.
Yeah, don't teach me anything that I don't want to start any bad habits.
Well, it makes it faster if you have two plans as a production run, because it ejects it out the back. Once you eject, you can just throw the new one on. The problem is exactly like you said. What if I forget to put that one of one? Well, if it's ejected back here, you're gonna have to put it back up here somehow.
And then that's gonna
It's gonna throw off the registration.
You have that's one that you
just
use
threw away
this,
that
you
shirt.
just threw that shirt
Yeah,
away.
pretty much.
I've thrown several away, trust me, especially screen printing.
And of course, we have the California approved emergency stop button.
California approved.
Yeah.
Was that Arnold
That's
approved?
the only state that requires it.
Really? Are they afraid you're gonna print your arm?
I've got my finger stuck in there before. It hurts, but it doesn't hurt that bad.
I don't even want to know.
If for some reason you get your finger stuck or the machine starts printing and you don't want it to print, just come over here, hit it in.
Does it completely wipe the system?
Completely clears the printer. Turns it completely off.
But when you turn it back on, will it pick up where it left off?
No.
So
You pretty much ruined whatever was
you've
in there.
hosed that, but thank God it's a shirt and not a finger.
Yes.
All right.
All right. There's really no pinch points on this guy that I've found, except in here. If you have your hands in here while the printer's moving, you deserve to get your finger pinched.
Amen.
All right. There's a cover on here for a reason.
Bean and Franks. Bean and Franks.
Yes. The HM1's a little different because the head moved, and it did have some pretty amazingly painful pinch points. If you put your hand here and that head just went right over it. That button was great for that. This guy really doesn't need any. My next
You got to be in
question
full blown idiot mode to need
To
to
hurt
hit
yourself with this
to
guy.
hit the emergency button, right? Okay.
over here. You'll see your little high voltage signals.
Yeah. Stay out of it.
Stay out of it, please. Unless the tech tells you to get in there for some reason. There's no need for you to go into this compartment at all, ever.
Okay.
All right. We have a very big transformer in there. Don't want your hands getting on there. All right.
Because it will hold power even after it's unplugged.
Yes. We got these wonderful signs here, so if you do it, please don't try to sue us because I'm warning you now, and there's big signs right there that says don't stick your hands in there.
Basically, those are what I call idiot signs.
Yes.
Don't be an idiot.
Now-
Okay, now this, I just heard this stop.
What it is every time that print head moves, the WIMS automatically comes on to keep ink in the lines.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you're printing color, it's not going to be spraying any white, but this still comes on just in case.
Because it has to circulate. Now, you said when it got done cleaning, you have to hit the eject button?
Go ahead and push the eject button. Now, find the sweet spot. Nope. There you go. It's usually right around there.
Oh, so it's temperamental.
Yes. They have sweet spots.
I
now,
hate soft keys like that.
now it's got the N on it saying, hey, I'm not loaded.
Okay.
All right. Now let's go ahead and take this guy back to pass 1 of 1. And now try to do one shirt at a time. All right. Now, back to the computer. Any
Now,
questions so far?
101 is something you'd use if you're
White
just
shirts.
doing white shirts,
That's
right?
it. All right. Now back here we have our inks. These little IV guys. Under no circumstance will you put them on the down position. Okay.
What?
If you put these down on the down position,
Oh, it shuts the
stops
ink off.
flowing.
Right.
Don't do it ever, 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 ever. All right. If a tech tells you to do it, is one thing. If you do it and you forget about it, you're in trouble because more than likely something here's going to bust or something here's going to bust.
Because it's going to be trying to suck that ink in.
Exactly. And this is pressurized.
Oh, it is pressurized?
Yeah. The color inks are pressurized.
You mean once you put the ink in them, the system pressurizes?
So that leads me to my next thing. Say your black is running low. All right. What you're going to do is you will always break the seal of the yellow first. All right. By breaking that, it releases the pressure on all of these.
Okay.
All right. And then you would remove this one and fill it up. Okay. Always open the yellow first. All right.
Okay.
That's the first bottle that gets pressurized. Better to kill it at the source. The reason is this guy's going to be inside the house, right?
Yes.
Okay. These guys have quite a bit of pressure on them. If you don't release pressure off this guy and you start messing with this guy, if this little line comes off, you're getting the ceiling
With
colored.
ink.
Oh yeah, and it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes quite the mess. And it doesn't taste that good, so.
Where's the wisdom there, huh?
Now, if that does happen, you're going to reach over here and hit the emergency stop button. If you don't, that pump is going to keep pumping, which means it's going to keep spraying.
Spraying. And you're going to really do some beautiful wall art.
Yes.
All right.
Now, the WIM system. All right, this guy's very simple. You have a little filter here. This little filter has a red mark.
Okay.
When you buy a new filter, it's going to have a red mark. You will place it exactly the same way as this one is. All right. To replace it, it's very simple. You're going to undo this guy right here. Cuts the power. Now, I don't care if the WIMS is not moving. You're still going to disconnect that.
Okay.
All right, because remember, this guy's on a timer.
Okay, right.
If you don't disconnect that,
and it starts pumping,
and you take that apart, and you go over here to get the other one, if this guy turns on, your machine's now white.
That's probably what happened with the clippings on the side there.
Mm-hmm.
So, how often does this need to be replaced?
Once a month.
Oh, you put a new one of these in once a month?
Yeah. All right.
Are they expensive?
No.
All right. So I'm probably going to want to buy some and leave with them here today.
I would. I'd get at least 2. Just for
Do you date them? You just automatically just date them, or do you go buy so many?
There's usually a little thing here with a date, but apparently the last customer took them off. So what I would do is I'd get a Sharpie and I'd just write the date on it.
Yeah, that's what I do with my air filters at home. Just write a date on them.
All right, this guy now, this is pressurized. This actually has a pump pulsating that ink through the system. All right, so if you look down here, you're gonna have another one of those little locks.
All right.
All right, this one you will never lock. I don't even know why they put that there. That little guy has given me more headaches than it's worth. All right, if you lock that, this pump doesn't stop. All right.
So once again, it's sucking on a closed tube and going to
what
damage
happens
something.
is usually right here. You'll see this guy or this guy right here will start growing and growing and growing because these lines are very, very flexible.
No.
They'll get to about that big and then it pops.
That's no bueno.
And all that ink has to go somewhere.
All over the dog, and thank God the dog's white. We have a Maltese, so
You're in good shape there.
now I notice this thing kind of sags when it's hanging there. Is that an issue?
It's not an issue. They all do that just because of the hinge. It's actually a pretty easy fix. You can take that apart and just kind of tighten it a little bit, put it at more of an angle and tighten it.
Okay,
Straight
so
out.
there's
But
a little
it does not
adjustment.
affect it at all.
Okay.
All right. Of course, to put ink in it on this guy, doesn't matter if it's on or off. All you do is unscrew the lid, pour your white ink in there.
Is that considered full?
No, full is probably up to about here. All right. Now, with that being said, I noticed something in the
I
colorings.
thought I bought a full ink.
There's another bottle of white over there that belongs to you.
Oh, okay. All right.
These guys right here.
Oh, can I transport this in my vehicle with those inks in there?
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Do I need to support it right here so it doesn't?
What I do is I'll put tape and it just holds it up like that.
Okay, all right.
Here, these guys, I don't like them that full. Please don't overfill them like that. Keep the ink to about right here.
Okay.
All right. Now, when it gets to about here, you're gonna put more. That's about 200 shirts worth of ink.
Should I just draw a line here
I
and
would.
here?
Just to be on the safe
We
side.
find a Sharpie today. We'll put the mark on there. So
The reason I like it overfilled is you see how these lines have all this ink in it? That's your
Yeah.
air tubing. That's from them being overfilled. What happens is if it's overfilled and say you bump the machine a little, some of that ink will get in that line and it'll come over. Now, it does not matter if it comes in this direction, meaning from the yellow to the red to the blue, or the blue to the black. Right. It's not a big deal. The problem is if it ever goes in reverse, because if you get a little bit of blue in your yellow, green, put a little bit of red in your yellow, you now have real red. All right?
okay.
Yellow seems to be the worst and the easiest to get contaminated.
Okay.
All right? Any questions so far?
No.
Perfect. Now, every day, they say we don't have to do this, but I just think it makes me sleep better at night.
Okay.
Just grab this guy and just give it
A little swirl.
a little swirl. And you'll notice after about a week, when you look in there, you'll see how the ink kind of separates a little.
Right.
I'd rather you give it a little bit of swirl than have to have that thing clock on you.
Yeah.
All right? Now,
And
the
this
rims.
because this will only do a certain amount of what.
It'll come on depending on here. Different techs have different ideas what this should be.
Okay. What's your idea?
I like it all the way on 1,
Okay.
and I like it to come on for 15 minutes to
Okay.
20 minutes. So it comes on every hour for 20 minutes
All right.
when you're not using it. All right? Some techs like to put it, every 2 hours for 30 minutes.
But it ain't hurting nothing